I have a very special prayer request to ask you to pray with me about this week. But before I do that, I want to ask you some questions. Has something happened this week in your life or just recently that has just rocked your world? And you thought, Lord, what is going on? Maybe it has to do with a child or a grandchild or your marriage or finances. Maybe it had to do with the diagnosis that you've received or someone you love. Listen, if that's you, I want to share a verse with you that I'm clinging to this week, that the Lord just has reminded me over and over and over again. And that verse is one probably that's very familiar to you as well. It's Romans 8:28. Now listen to me as I quote this. And we know. Don't you like the way this verse begins? Here's something you can count on. Here's something you can be assured of. Here's something you can know. And we know that God causes all things to work together for good to those who love Him and to those who are the called according to His purpose. If you love the Lord, if you are the called, those who belong to Him, here's what you can know. Nothing happens to you in your life that wasn't meant by a loving God to work together for your good. I'm clinging to that today. And listen, I don't know what's going on in your life, and I'll share what's going on in mine, but I want to hear from you. Let's pray for one another this week, okay? Let's pray. Let's share with each other. I need to hear from you. I want to pray for you. Your world's been rocked this week. Let me know. Let me know. Leave a comment. I'll pray for you, and then you can pray for me as well. And we can both claim that God's working all things together for good. Here's what's happened to me this week. This time last week, I was driving to my mother and dad's house to surprise my mother for her birthday. She's in her 80s. She did not know, of course, that I was coming. And I live about 6 hours away from her. I had arranged a party for her with my brothers and some of their families, and we were going to surprise her. And it was just a glorious weekend, and she was surprised, and it was wonderful. But I had a surprise that weekend a little bit when I found out that she was scheduled the following Monday for a colonoscopy. And when I began to ask her about all that, she said, well, Laurie, I had an appointment with my doctor just for routine blood work to renew some prescriptions that she's on, like thyroid and things like that. But a few days before that, she had been to a restaurant and with my father, and she'd eaten she'd had fish, and she said I ate 2 or 3 bites and it made her really sick, and she was sick throughout the weekend, really sick. And so much so that when she went into her routine doctor's appointment shortly after that, he asked her, he said, he always asks her, is there anything else that you need to tell me about? And so she told him about that. She said, I don't know if it was food poisoning or what happened. And he said, well, out of kind of an abundance of caution, let's do some other tests. And they did some other tests, and that led to this colonoscopy. And, the truth is, she wouldn't have even told her doctor about the fish if he hadn't asked, okay? He wouldn't have even known that she was having problems with her stomach if he hadn't asked, if it hadn't been for that bad fish, honestly. God causes all things to work together for good, doesn't He? Even bad fish. I want to encourage you with that. And so through those tests that her doctor scheduled, through that colonoscopy that was just this past Monday, they did find early stage colon cancer just in one place in her colon. And today she's having a PET scan just to see if that cancer has spread to any other places in her body. And I'll know more in the weeks ahead, and I'll let you know. But listen, that rocked my world. I love my mother. She's a godly woman. She's trusting the Lord. Her faith is stronger than mine is. And so I'm just asking you, would you just pray for her? Would you pray for me? And would you let me pray for you as well? What are you going through? I know what some of you are going through. I keep in touch with some of you, and I'm praying for you. But some of you need to share with me, and we need to be a team, and we need to pray for each other. So would you leave a comment? And let's all pray and read these comments together and just lift up one another, claiming Romans 8:28 and trusting God that He's working together all things for good for those of us who love Him and for those of us who are the called according to His purpose. I'm so grateful to sit with you today on the porch, to share my heart with you. Now it's your turn. Share your heart and your prayer requests with me. I love you. I'll keep you posted about my mother, and I'm looking forward to praying for you. I'll see you next week right here on Front Porch Friday. I love you.